Hey, good morning, folks. This is MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Welcome to your morning weather update. Sorry, I got to do this to you. I got to get a song stuck in your head all day. We are in the Ring of Fire pattern now. The Ring of Fire pattern is when the southeast third of the U.S. Gets really hot and the jet stream, the upper airflow, kind of rides on the top of that dome of hot air, and it has disturbances in it, so you get these thunderstorm complexes riding over the top of that ridge, and us meteorologists call it the Ring of Fire. And there you go. Some of you are already humming the song, although at least it's a great song. You know, it's not something that I'm instilling in your head that's kind of a cheesy song. I'll show you that Ring of Fire and everything coming up here now. All right, here is the radar, and it's dry now across Michigan. We've had a few showers in the far southeast, and those are moving out. You can clearly see the Ring of Fire. Well, not so clearly because of this thunderstorm complex, but usually in a Ring of Fire, it's just super clear here, and you'll see the storms riding on the ridge of that, and that's what's happening here, and then these disturbances out here. So we still have this mother storm, so to speak. Hey, good morning, Mary Montpas and Jeff Gilbert. Hey, good morning, Teresa Petrick from West Bloomfield, and Curtis Herbert from Lake City. So here's the mother storm, so to speak, and it spits out these pieces, and they ride over the ridge of heat, and they come toward us. But these are 1 to 3 hour bursts of thunderstorms. They don't follow in the same track all the time, so you might get the northern half getting rain one day, southern half, back and forth. Here is the next complex of thunderstorms that we'll have to keep an eye on out in the Dakotas already. So I think this is arriving toward tomorrow morning. Let's say, maybe 5, 6 in the morning on the west side of the state, maybe late morning on the east side of the state. I'll show that to you on the radar forecast. But for today, this is the high resolution rapid refresh. Comes out every hour, only goes out 18 hours, but it gives you a good sense for what's coming up in the next 6 to 12 hours. And you could see that we're into, 7 o'clock tonight, 8, 9, 10, 11, midnight. So that clump of storms out in the Dakotas is going to try to fall apart, maybe getting into the UP, maybe into the far western lower, and then this is probably the batch that comes in late overnight or toward tomorrow morning. I'll be honest, the exact timing of these storms is hard to do when they're so far out in the Dakotas, because they can slow down a little bit, speed up a little bit, arrive maybe 3 hours earlier, maybe 6 hours later. So we just kind of generically have to tell you that there's another complex out there shooting toward us, and the more likely complex will be coming in sometime tomorrow. Well, Larry, I hear you about the painting of the deck. My son volunteered to power wash our deck and stain it for us for my Father's Day present. Best Father's Day present ever in history. How's the 4th looking? Right now the 4th looks like it's still in that Rim of Fire, so we have to just see when the 1 to 3 hour clump of thunderstorms comes through, and otherwise it looks summery. Okay, now this is a model that goes out a little bit farther. We're into this evening, and it also shows a dying complex toward midnight, very consistent. And then it shows the next complex. This is 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, 10. It kind of shows it coming across the northern part of the state, and then I think that would translate to storms in the southern part of the state. This is a very classic pattern at this time of the year. I'll back up on that. A storm system comes through, it gets a north wind going on Lake Huron, it gets a lake breeze coming down the thumb, and it develops thunderstorms. Sometimes that's a bigger line of storms that rolls all the way through Detroit and Ann Arbor. That would be late tomorrow. So the point being is you have a great day today, and tomorrow in the heat and humidity, yes, I said heat and humidity, you may have to dodge an hour thunderstorm. So this shows it good too. This goes out a lot further, but here's our first clump coming down on the ridge being right here, the mother storm being out here, and then we go into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Right now looking kind of quiet. And then we go into Monday and another one of these. Here you can clearly see how the ridge has formed, and you see this ring. That's what we call the ring of fire. And it can bring potent storms and a lot of rain if it keeps tracking in the same spot. But also for the general population not worrying about flooding or not a farmer, generally for you, most of you, it's a 1 to 3 hour burst in one spot every day or every 2 days, something like that. Okay, so temperatures. Here we are. Here's the heat. Now this isn't hot. Hey, good morning, Drew Robinson. Now this isn't hot, but this is, very warm for this time of the year. Upper 80s, maybe a 90 on the pavement in Detroit. Certainly the sunshine will make it feel like it's 90. Tomorrow, 85 in Grand Rapids, 87 Kalamazoo and Saginaw Bay City and Midland, and 88 in Flint, and 89 in Ann Arbor and Detroit. And then Saturday, upper 80s again, 83 to 85-ish in Traverse City. UP even 80 to 85. Sunday, a little bit of a northeast wind could develop and maybe cool the thumb down, maybe cool us down a degree or two on the east side of the state, but still summery. Monday, we come into that, back to mid-80s, we'll call it. Tuesday and Wednesday. So definitely looking like a consistent stretch of 82 to 87 degree weather wherever you're at in lower Michigan, and about the UP about the same as well. Definitely summer is here. Definitely the amount of time period with rain falling out of the sky is coming down, but it's transitioning to more heavier thunderstorms because of the warmth. They last a shorter time period. They can dump a lot of rain, that's hard to say, in a short time period, but 22 hours out of your day are generally going to be dry, and your phone app and all the forecasts that you see will show thunderstorms, 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 thunderstorms. Hey, good morning, Matthew from Marquette. I use my wife as a kind of a litmus test, of what people react to the forecasters. She'll see that, glance over and see it on TV, or now phone apps, glance on it. Oh, rain 7 days. No, in 7 days with 7 days of thunderstorms on your forecast there, you might have cumulative 6 to 8 hours of rain, cumulative, on that whole 7 days. A lot of this comes in at night too, and toward morning, and then clears up by 10 in the morning. So the point being is, it's a weather system that can produce some havoc if you're trying to stain your deck or do siding or replace windows, because the thunderstorms do blow through, but generally most of the day is going to be dry. Debbie Gray mentions it's the percentage she looks at, and that's a good way to do it. But we found that there's a lot of false thoughts attached to percentages. For example, 80% chance of thunderstorms or 80% chance of rain. A lot of people back in the day, people are getting more and more sophisticated with the math and the percentages and whatnot. But back in the day, we did studies, and that told people that the rain was going to be heavy. And that's not necessarily true. The chance of precipitation doesn't speak anything to the intensity. You could have an 80% chance or 100% chance of very light rain, or you could have a 20% chance of the worst thunderstorm you've ever been in. So percentage chance, I do agree, is a great way to look at it. I think one of the best ways is hours of thunderstorms during a day. So there's a 70% chance of thunderstorms, let's say, on any given day. I like to turn it down to, if it happens in your location, it's going to be between 4 and 6 this afternoon, and you might have a half hour to 1 hour of that period with a very strong thunderstorm. It puts it into perspective that you're not inside all day long. You're taking cover when the storm approaches, and it moves out pretty quickly. How will the wind be this weekend for boating on Lake Erie? I don't see any storm system that makes a consistent, strong wind. Thunderstorms can make a wind very quickly, very dangerous situations, but you're not going to have anything that's like a southeast or southwest wind sustained at 15 to 30 miles an hour. We're getting into the kind of the lighter wind pattern of the summer, so that's good. 4th of July, right now I'm just going to call it summery and very typical of many other 4th of Julys. Warm, humid, a chance of thunderstorms. It seems like it's that case about 7 out of 10 4th of Julys. And why? Because climatologically we're at the same time of the year, 4th of July, and that's typically the kind of weather pattern that is around, and it looks like this is going to be a very common weather pattern for this time of the year. Electric forest, same deal. You're going to probably through that whole time period deal with 1 or 2 clumps of thunderstorms lasting 1 or 2 hours, and you should not be camping in a tent at that time. You should at least be in a vehicle. Yeah, the mosquitoes are bad. There's your update this morning. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me. Please help spread the word. Hopefully you like this format. Hope you like the interactivity and the fact that I can possibly answer some of your questions. Hit the share button and tell your friends, hey, you might want to check out this weather forecast. We'd greatly appreciate it here on MLive. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.